Hello. Welcome in. Hope everyone is doing fine and everything is going okay. Yes, so we do have a hat. I couldn't find the one that I wanted. So this is the next most this is the most fuck me, where is my words? This is the next most closest hat to it. Ay. We are We have indie game today. Let me cushion myself. We have indie game. It's kinda nice though when they're gonna be playing. It's also a demo. If you haven't heard of this story before, let me look at it properly so I can give you a like a full description about it. Also, let me check if Discord, if the role for Discord's working, because I'm afraid it isn't. Yeah, no, I'm tired though. Yes. It's working. It's working as intended. I gave the correct role. Nice. Also, if you are in there on the Discord, we placed new roles that you can get. So you can select if you want to be notified when I am live or when I post a YouTube short. Feel free to get any of the roles. So the game of today is based on a actual legend from the 18th century. There is no like physical real description of it because it's still a myth. If I'm not mistaken, it is like in 1700 something. Probably is in the 60s, I think. Um, this is. I will tell you the name of the thing later on. But history-wise, the name is associated with a man-eating beast or an animal. It terrorized the province of a place. Today's place is Lozère and part of Hotelua. I am hoping I am not butchering the names. Probably I am. And the myth actually took place on between 1764 and 1767. This was on the south central part of France. The myth covers a really wide range, like a really long distance. It spans 90 to 80 kilometers. That will be between, I think, 56 to 50 miles. On that thing, it's been said that it was one, and some other people say it was more than one. They were basically beasts. They had like these tawny russet color. Usually they were depicted with dark stripes or streaks in general. And also it had like a really distinctive dark stripe down its back. And it also was described that it had a tail longer than a wolf one's, and it ended in a tuft. And that is according to contemporary eyewitnesses, right? So That could be true, that could not be true, but that was the general descriptions. It's said that these beasts also had like incredible size of teeth and claws, meaning it could just completely destroy a calf or cow, and it seemed to fly, or at least bound across fields towards the victims. The description from this period, we could identify it like, of course, as a regular one, like a young lion, a striped hyena, either a large wolf, a large dog, or even a wolf dog. If you don't know what a wolf dog is, pretty pretty quickly, it's a mix between a dog and a wolf. However, the wolf part has most of it, meaning like it's over the 70%. So it looks more like a wolf than an actual dog. And of course, the identity for this myth, till today, more than almost 300 years later, it's still up for debate because we still have no clue. Um, France, back on that time, they allocated a lot of wealth and resources, meaning resources, manpower, to hunt these animal or animals that were responsible for um all of these death, all of these killings. It is estimated, but this is an estimated like almost 200 years later, that in total there were like more than 200 attacks. It ended in more than 100 deaths, more than 40 injuries, and at least 100 victims were either killed or partially eaten. Other sources, of course, throughout the time claim that the animals or the animals that were involved on it killed somewhere between like 50 and 100 adults, and the children were injured were more than 30. That is the thing. That is the basic myth of what we are working with today. It says that the first recorded attack for this beast was in 1764, and it was to a young woman who was tending the cattle in Merquar Forest near the town of Lagon in the eastern part of this place. It saw a beast like a wolf, yet not a wolf, and it approached her, obviously. So, however, in all of these things, the bulls that she was sending to in the herd charged to the beast, and they kept it at bay. Then they drove it off after it attacked a second time, and shortly afterwards, on the 30th of June, the beast's first official victim was recorded, and it was the 14-year-old Jean Boulet, and she was killed near the village of Le Hubax near Larong on 1st of July. Also, this victim was buried without sacraments because she could not confess before her death. There was a thing really interesting in religion wise. If you were not able to confess your sins before you died, then there was like no really any type of ceremony made for you because you were considered impure. That's interesting on the long run. So after her burial, the certificate, it says that she was killed by a ferocious beast, nothing else. And after this, she is not the first victim, but is the only declared first victim of this case. Hi, Hades, welcome in. How you doing? How's it going? Then a second victim was gonna be reported on August the 8th, and at the age of 14, she lived on the hamlet of Masbijan in the parish of Puy-le-Red, and I'm probably still butchering the names. And these two victims were killed in the Allier Valley. And this is how all this myth started. I play like always. Are you kidding? I am good. I'm still tired though. But I am giving an explanation, a little bit of like backstory of where the myth of the game that we are gonna play is coming from. Because today we're gaming. So, yeah. It's a really like long story, but I'm trying like to summarize it at best of my capabilities right now. Because after these two first deaths, of course, rumors started circulating. We are back on the 18th century, right? So rumors started circulating. Some said that it might be a pair of animals, that it was just one animal. Then, with such a high number of attacks in such a short space of time, because the attacks, it started with those two fatal victims, and then there were like several attacks after it. Uh, since they were like reporting simultaneously, they suggest that the creature was seen with another animal. While others report that the beast was accompanied like with its young creature. There is no distinct on that one. Nobody knows about it. But after a lot of these attacks, people starting to get restless. More rumors started spreading. And this is when royal intervention had to be made. So, with the first Captain Duhamel of the Clement Prince Dragoons and the troops that he controlled, they were zealous on his efforts. There was non-cooperation of the local herders or farmers, and that stalled his efforts. Then, on several occasions, what happened is that he almost shot the beast, but was hampered by the incompetence of his guards, or at least that's how this goes. Then, when they got into the village of Le Malzieu, which it's supposed the beast was in there the most of the time, and they crossed the river, they were like so frustrated because they were not able to put an end to this beast. Then Louis XV agreed to send two professional wolfhounders, Jean-Claude Antoine Vassière de Neval, and his son. I'm not repeating that name because I'm gonna butcher it. Jean-Francois was his son. Meaning, with these two guys sent out, our Captain Duhamel was made to step down of this task and let him work. Later on, he will have to cooperate with the Neville, which was impossible since both of them really differed a lot on strategies on how to approach them. They had their fallbacks, everything went down the drain. On August